Okay, now let's define what is theoretical probability. Well, here's the definition they give you in your book. Theoretical probability, so if you have all outcomes in the sample space are equally likely, then the theoretical probability of event A, denoted by P of A, is defined by the number of outcomes in event A divided by the number of outcomes in the sample space. Well, gosh, that's kind of confusing. Well, what does that really mean? Let me give you an example. A simple example would be if you flip a coin, right? How many different options do you have when you flip a coin? Well, it could be a heads or it could be tails. So the number of outcomes in the sample space, how many outcomes could you have? 2. Now, yeah, it could land on the side, but let's just say it can't do that. So you have 2 outcomes in the sample space, heads or tails. Now, let's say you win the argument if you get a tail. So the number of outcomes in the event is getting a tail. How many outcomes can you win this event? There's one way you can win it, by getting that tail. So in this situation, the probability of winning your argument is 1/2 for getting that tail. One way to get the tail, but there's 2 ways when you flip the coin. So that's what theoretical probability is. Now let's apply it to this problem right down here. So let's say you're playing Yahtzee, and you roll. Well, Yahtzee's this game. I'm sure most of you have played it maybe once in your life, or you've heard of the game at least. It's a game. It's a bunch of cubes or number cubes, dice in a jar, and you're trying to get certain combinations of dice. And you're rolling a 6-sided die. That's all you have left, and you just need an even number to win the game. What is the theoretical probability of winning this game? Well, we are going to use this formula right here. Now, the question is, how can you win the game? Well, first you need an even number. Well, the number of outcomes in event A, well, how many ways can you get an even number? How many ways can you get an even number? Well, you could get an even number. You could get a 2, right? That's one way to get an even number. Or you could get a 4, or you could get a 6. So there are 3 ways to get an even number. And how many outcomes are there when you roll this 6-sided die? Well, there's 6 sides to it. So there are 6 ways to roll a die. So what's the probability of you winning this game? Well, it is 3 divided by 6, which is just 1/2. So you have a 50% chance of winning the Yahtzee game on this next roll.